They have updated their shit. I can tell. What's coming? What's coming? What's coming? What is coming? What could possibly be coming? Who out here? Man, you guys are starting to freak me out a little bit. Yeah, that looks better. This is what having hair is like. Go away. Okay. Anyway. What? No. I want to know. I want to know what's coming. I need to know what's coming. Paul, were they disappointed when you quit Starbucks? Probably. I would imagine. Well, they were probably disappointed and relieved because I had been with the company for so long and I had transferred from Arizona where the minimum wage that they were paying was higher. So I was making more than an assistant manager as a shift lead. So they probably were happy to get rid of that. They were probably more than happy to let me go for that reason alone. Yeah. When somebody's with a company for that long, they make a lot of money. Ever look back on old jobs, no matter how shitty, and kind of miss it? Sometimes. Like, there were little, like, aspects of old jobs that I had that I didn't really appreciate when I was there. Like, working for the school district. Dude, I knew some crazy shit. Like I knew all the scuttlebutt because people knew that I didn't have a dog, in the fight, because I'm just the computer guy, and so that plus the fact that I'm a pretty approachable, affable dude to talk to meant that like I got to hear all the dirt, all of it, every last little scintilla of dirt from all sides too, because everybody treated me the same. I was like Switzerland. You know what I mean? So like 1 minute I'd be out in the fucking sixth grade wing fixing a teacher's laptop and she'd give me all this scuttlebutt on the principal. And then my next ticket is to go visit the principal and fix some problem he has or she has. And I get to hear the scuttlebutt from the principal. So that was a pretty cool part of my job. Like, I think everybody thought that they were more friendly with me than anybody else, which is really how it should be in that type of position. But it gave everybody like this kind of like, I'm going to tell Paul what's going on. I'm going to ask Paul what his opinion on this is or whatever the fuck. So I kind of missed that. That was interesting. It was just interesting from like observational psychology. It's watching how people, I don't know, deal with things or whatever. Like Nicodemus from Secret of Nim. You saw all. Yes. Having a dozen people tell you the same shit. Yeah, but it's like a game of telephone because and that is absolutely true. There are times where there was shit going on, and I would have, over the course of a couple of days, a dozen people tell. It was like a game of telephone. So every little bit, if you've got a good memory for conversation, which I do, every little story I was told was a little different, you know. I probably knew the closest to the truth of anybody because I got all the stories. Was able to kind of suss out which ones were true and which ones were false. I'm telling you, man, like that job, that type of job, being a tech support guy, you got to have a pretty grounded moral compass. You know, like you got to have a real idea that like just because you can, you necessarily shouldn't. Does that make sense? Like because I could read everybody's fucking emails if I wanted. You know, I could look at everybody's browsing history if I wanted. I could fucking sit and watch somebody work on their computer if I wanted remotely. I could be sitting at home and I could watch what was going on any of my teachers' computers. You know, you gotta know where that line is to work that type of job, and there's probably a lot of fucking people that don't. You know what I mean? I never misused that power because the idea of doing that, you know, creeped me out. It creeped me out that somebody would do that to me. Thanks for the 413. Well, I didn't even have to do that, Johnny. Like you have to understand. Like I was on a managed network, and I was the manager. So every last one of those machines was visible to me, no matter where it was in the world. I didn't need a keylogger. I had it as part of my, you know, admin suite. We used ARD, Apple Remote Desktop, to I would VPN to do it from anywhere in the world. Like let's say I traveled across the country and I wanted to spy on one of my fucking teachers. I take my laptop. I use my laptop to VPN into a local machine at the school, and I'm in. I can watch anything going on the campus. Done deal. Stealing people's credit card numbers if they shop online for work or something. I could have done that. I 100% could have done it. I could do anything they could do on their computer. I wasn't out there looking for people doing weird shit on the computers. So unless there was, you know, some reason for me to check up on somebody, it wasn't my purview to be out there fucking looking at people's computers and shit, so I didn't do it. Like my job was to make sure the network ran smoothly and that people could access it and that it was, you know, nothing was broken, replace equipment when it broke, help a teacher remotely fix a problem real quick by taking over control of their machine and shit. But here's the truth of the matter. Teachers were told that the laptops that they were given for their job were for their job. every teacher signed off on a little fucking agreement or whatever saying that they wouldn't use their fucking machine for personal business and blah, blah, blah. It was like for school shit. So if there was, a technician that didn't have the scruples that I did, they put themselves out there to fucking do that because I couldn't look at their home machines, and no access to that shit. But every computer that was doled out on the fucking school district dime, I could get into. With great power comes great responsibility. Given the chance to become a hacker spy, would you take the job? No. I admire your self-control. Really wasn't self-control. Don't admire that about me. Admire my just empathy. I thought about putting myself in that position. I wouldn't want somebody spying on my shit, so I didn't do it. You know what I mean? Admire that. Admire the empathy of the act. Because it really didn't have anything to do with self-control. You would spy? Yeah. A lot of people probably would. A lot of people probably would. I think empathy is misunderstood. I think that empathy is misunderstood for a constant forced state of niceness. That's not empathy. Empathy can be a part of your decision to do that, but empathy itself is the literal act of, to the best of your ability, putting yourself in another person's shoes. And it requires development and practice. It really does. Hey, Paul, have a great day. Greetings from Ireland. Oh, Faith and Begorra, Jamie Smith. Well, thank you much. Thank you much for your kind donation. It means a lot to me. It really does. Matt Blank, dude. I think you might have paranoid personality disorder, my friend. The idea that you want to have compromat on everybody that you work with, so if they ever fuck with you, you can fuck with them back. That's problematic. That's a very paranoid way of thinking, Take it from a fellow paranoiac. That you got to learn to fucking identify that shit. Yeah, dude. Most people do not think that they should get fucking compromat on everybody around them, so that if something goes wrong, they can fucking drop the compromat. It's like, kind of fucking Machiavellian fucking Macbeth tragedy is your life? Oh, you got something. You got something, Squid Diddly. Everybody got a skeleton or two, you know what I mean? You got something. There are people out there, they have some kind of fucking interaction with you. And you know, you've got like a social media presence. You talk to people there. I'm telling you, man, you probably piss somebody off. And that means that there's somebody who might have the idea to dig into who you really are. And then they open the right fucking skeleton and da 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 da, or the right closet, and there's the skeleton, dude. I want to wrong someone just in case they maybe wrong me. Like, what? See, now you're the villain and not just some innocent. Yeah, yeah, yeah. For sure. That's an angle. That's an angle to look at it from, because a lot of these people do see such things as like, goddamn weed. Please have mercy on an old man. No, a lot of people do see that kind of information gathering and shit as a naturally defensive mechanism, but really what you're doing is wronging a person so that you can wrong them further if they ever wrong you. What a twisted way of living your life, you know what I mean? Well, I would not use that information unless they did something to me. I'm not a monster. I didn't say you were a monster. I'm just saying. Karma seems to avenge you, huh? All right. Well, good for you. I never really had much luck with karma myself, so. I mean, Matt Blank is one of many, dude. There's no need to fucking pile on him. He's one of many people that are that way. At least he's being honest about it, you know? You don't want to be the hero. You just want to win any kind of conflict that you may have with a person. You don't? What is that? Right? Like, let's be honest about yourself. If you're gonna, like, you don't want to be a hero. You just want to win any conflict you ever have with a person. That's what heroes do. That's not exactly what I would say a hero does. There's a selflessness to being a hero. Is there, though? You telling me that nobody has ever done something heroic because they knew that, like, they would get benefits for it at the end? It's all about self-sacrifice? I don't know, man. Doesn't sound very human to me. Human's a little more complex than all that, right? In my experience. So, I mean, you're going to say the guy isn't a hero? Ran into a burning building to save a baby and 6 puppies or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? But maybe his drive for that heroic act was like, dude, if I do this, I'll be the most fucking epic dude. I'll be able to parlay this into like a book deal or some shit, you know, or whatever the fuck. He just does the calculations in his mind. He's like, I'm going to get clout for this. He goes in, he does something crazy fucking dumb and brave. A hero is when you farted and shitted. Are you getting back at me because I try and push your streams towards farts and shits? Bro, I'm only expressing the truth of my reality, TJ. And for you to take that and make a bit out of it, I mean, it's very low of you, TJ. You know me in person. You know that I am utterly obsessed with farts and shids. So there's nothing negative in my participation in your streams from a chat perspective. I'm always trying to share my mirth with you. My utter appreciation for poop and pee-pee and farts and queefs. He's in here fart shaming, yeah. Unbelievable. TJ's all about the bits. He's probably pulling another one too, because he's doing to me what I do to him. Which is sometimes I just stop by and I go like, hey, fart. You know what I mean? That's my way of saying, what up? But I think he thinks it's like an act of negativity. Dude, it's an act of positivity. It's an act of sharing wonderful mirth with everyone. A fart brings joy. A fart brings joy like a vernal sun brings life. Paul's Ego, 2021. I just made that shit up. Poetry. Fart poetry. Fart prose. Yeah, dude, waft the love, yeah. Share your creation with the world. Made that shit up, no pun intended, yeah. Yeah, seriously. Genuinely, no pun intended. Can we stop talking about farts? No. 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 Yeah, dude. Rudy Giuliani farts right in front of Congress while it's in session. Totally gasses out that chick that was sitting next to him. She was fucking horrified. But we were pleased, you know. Shit, and you shit alone. Unless you're into like scat porn, those people don't know the loneliness of taking a big hollow shit. all by themselves, sequestered away. They share that with the world. Well, not with the world. Some of them do. Some of them film it and upload it for the world. But they at the very least share that lonely time with another. Yeah, dude, Beethoven had a song called Leck mich ein Arsch, which means lick my ass or lick my asshole. Lick me in the ass. And if you listen to it, it sounds it's a beautiful piece of music. Was it Mozart? No, it was Beethoven, dude. It was Beethoven. True art, yeah. Yeah. Beef oven, dude. Mo's fart. Beef oven, dude. That's an old ICP bit. Is it Mozart? I don't fucking know. It was one of those two idiots. You can look it up, dude. Somebody go look up Lecht mich ein Arsch and find out who wrote it. Was it Mozart or was it Beethoven? Yeah, there aren't any other composers anyway. They're the same dude. Two different fucking things. Already did. Okay, well, who is it? Mozart. Okay. Well, there you go. There you go. They liked sniffing some butt, you know? Everybody enjoys it. Dude, I bruised my skull. Right there. Bonk. Perils of being tall. I ran into an open cabinet. Opened a cabinet and looked down and then stood back up and fucking couldn't, it wasn't in the field of vision. Right on the corner of the cabinet. Right on the door. Just like, poof. No, we're not joking. That's an actual song. You can listen to it. It's pretty. It's a very well composed song. Mozart was a Chad, yeah. A Chad indeed. Yeah, I've seen Old Boy, bro. That shit hurts. Here, get an aspirin on me. Thanks. Yeah. Every time I like raise my eyebrows, there's a bruise. Where's it at? It's like right here. Yeah, right there. That's the spot it hit right there. Kind of see there's a bruise there. Fuck. You think if a ghost possessed a fart, it would actively chase people down? I can at least imagine it being mischievous. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. I don't know if a ghost can possess a fart, though. I don't know what the rules are. I don't know what the ghostly rules are. Asper the methane ghost. That would be kind of cool, though, if you could just be a stink. You know, just like a stinky ass fart that follows people around. Could hover away from them and then, like, at various parts of their day, come down and haunt their nose. Who the fuck farted? Because they know it wasn't them, you know? Fuck. What is that? Taking showers, you know what I mean? Scrubbing themselves. They're like, man, I must stink. You leave them for a little while and then fucking descend on them again. The miasma. I love it. I fucking love it, dude. That's good shit. I'm gonna go get some coffee. I'll be right back. Wow. Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer, do. I'm half crazy, all for the love of you. That would be the scariest thing to hear in a dark alley. Yeah. Very well could be. Just watched the origin of that the other night with Amelia. She had not seen it yet. 2001: A Space Odyssey. fucking amazing movie. You talk about a movie that is just so immaculately paced. Like, there's so little dialogue in that film compared to its length. And there's so many long, long scenes of just placidness in that movie. And like, Amelia and I have this kind of ritual where we take a break, like, we take an intermission anyway. Like, so we paused the movie at intermission, we could see, and she was like, man, it does not feel like an hour's gone by or whatever. And that just goes to show you, man, fucking Kubrick was on a whole different level. You never get through it. The beginning feels excruciatingly slow to me. Dude, you just have to you have to surrender yourself to the movie and admire the movie for what it is. You have to fucking get through it. It's crazy. It's good. It's amazing. You have to think about the fact that that movie was made before people landed on the moon. "2001: A Space Odyssey." Oh my god, the sequel's horrible. I'm telling you, that movie, you watch that movie, and if you thought to yourself, like, here's how you get through it, Johnny. Watch that movie from the perspective of, if nothing else, this movie was made in the fucking 60s. Just keep saying that to yourself. As you watch the vastly superior practical ape costumes that were used that nowadays would be horrible CGI at the very beginning, at the dawn of man, and then watch the beginning of it, the placid space scenes, and just say, this is an effects shot that was done practically in the 60s. If that alone doesn't get you through the first hour or so of the movie, I don't know what will. Yep. A decade before Star Wars. Look at some of the shots in it that are just directly, like, obviously inspired Star Wars. You know, the opening shot of A New Hope where the Star Destroyer comes into scene chasing the little rebel ship or whatever. Straight out of 2001: A Space Odyssey. That big ass ship that the dude is on, it fucking pulls into the shot just like that. I can't remember what the ship was called, like the Jupiter exploration vessel or whatever the fuck. Comes into shot just like that. You get this placid space shot that looks like a real space shot, and then here comes the from over your head and behind you, this gigantic spaceship into the frame, and it gives you a sense of the scope of the ship without, in a place where that would be a real problem. You know what I mean? It's hard to make things look huge in space. there's no background and there's nothing to compare them against. And so if you look at these big giant spaceships and how they're presented in movies, so another example, Aliens, my favorite film, the Sulaco. It's also done with the Nostromo from the first film, Alien, using a backdrop of a planet and then using this very long passing sweeping shot. How do they make those shots? Macro miniature work. So that it's hard to explain, but a macro miniature is like, it's like building. So I'm on this porch, right? It would be like if I built a really super detailed set that was supposed to be this giant atmosphere processing unit, and I built it here as a miniature, but it's huge. You can walk around it, you can get all kinds of different angles on it and shit, right? So that's what you do. It's a combination of like blue screen, green screen, background, matte painting. So you have the background of everything matte painted out, and you've green screened in a carefully designed shot. And then you've built this giant, it's a giant miniature. It's something that's huge in scale that you've built, you know, much smaller in scale, but much larger than like a toy. It's not a tiny little miniature thing. So they build a giant ship, but not anywhere near like a tenth of the size that it really is. And then they use that to get all the shots. It's really cool. So that with Steadicam shots, tracking shots that are utterly smooth. So you put your camera on a track, right? And you move the camera, but then you set up the background in such a way that it looks like the ship that's moving. So you provide counter movement in the background, so it looks like that the ship is moving when really it's your camera slowly panning across this thing from different angles on a track. Yeah. The shots of Orthanc and Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings used a lot of macro miniature stuff. It's awesome. You can watch like there's a couple of documentaries on the making of 2001: A Space Odyssey that show you some of the macro miniature work. There's a really good documentary on the making of Aliens. Sorry, the second Alien film that came with the like director's cut 20th anniversary version or whatever, but you can find it. I've seen it online before. It gives you a lot of cool shots of the macro miniatures that they built and how they set up the studio spaces for them and stuff. Really neat. So yeah, was used a lot back in the day. Well, yeah, it belongs in a museum. A lot of them they're too big. They're too cumbersome to keep. You know what I mean? And a lot of times in movies like this, you have to build something like that. And then later on in the film, tear it down to make room to build something else. You just don't have the space to carefully move it out. And sometimes maybe you need to reuse some of the shit. So they just get taken apart and repurposed. Destroyed if they can't be. I know that there are places you can go to see like a few of these things. There's museums that you can go to that'll show you like where they have some of these macro miniatures and stuff. Bullseye. Thinking about maybe moving inside and doing kind of a chill gaming type of stream. Been playing a lot of Neo, so we'll just kind of shoot the shit and do some ninja stuff. So I might do that here in the future. I might not, though. We'll see how I feel. But thanks for chilling today. We'll see you. Bye.